Aiden stares down the beating heart of a fortress. That wasn't a metaphor. It's right in front of us. A mass of writhing bodies, an enormous tentacle rising from their midst, the floor bulging beneath them. Our hero calms his mind, pushes away fear, and strides into danger. The trapped tentacle is just across a small set of shallow water. We do check, and no, we do not have any grenades. It is the first thing that Aiden does is reach down for his belt and look for a grenade, something to solve this quickly. We do not know how strong this tentacle is, but it is uninjured, immobile, and it is huge in size. It has a head, though. So what I would like to start with is a mind hammer, just to see what kind of damage we did. It says that we hit it with 41 damage. How impactful is that? Oh, it is probably just around a fifth of its HP. I do not know if we want to get close to this thing, but we do not have enough mind hammers to take it down from a distance. I believe there is a wall here that we can try and rest behind. We can try and cast Wind Running on ourselves in order to bolster our ability. Oh, geez. There's more than one of them. Another trapped tentacle. Okay, we are going to Mind Hammer that spider in the background, take down the gangrenous collar near us, and use the smoke to try and get closer. As we get closer, the Mind Hammer reaches out from the darkness, grabs us, being able to see through the smoke where we cannot, and pulls us closer. It takes one swing at Aiden, but he does block the damage of his Gian. Our Gian now taking an enormous amount of damage. It is grabbing us, though. I think we have no choice. We lash out. Hitting the tendril for only 6 damage? Fuck me. I think we're going to try and cut into it for now. Because cutting into it deals more damage. It tried to send us flying, but something holds us in place. I think one of the tendrils tried to knock me away while the other one was grabbing me, saving me from the damage. But slicing into it with our Gian right now takes less stamina than trying to hit it with our mind. So we're going to do that until we don't have a choice. And we're going to take this combat slowly, taking small nicks at it. Every once in a while we get a crit doing 26 damage and 25 damage. So far, we haven't taken... From the northeast, you hear a deafening roar. Oh, that's northeast. How far away is that? We don't know. I wonder if that was the actual tendril itself. As we're cutting into it, it is trying to... There we go. It finally managed to grab us and slam us into the rebar ribcage, dealing a bunch of damage to our entire body. Okay, it is... weaker now. We managed to stand back up. Aiden takes slices into it again, waiting for it to try and get an attack back on us. As we're wrangling with this thing in melee, it is taking swipes at us, but we're just barely dodging the damage, and the damage is hitting our armor when possible. As we just slice into it and then slice into it. It's tendril, an easy target for us because it is grabbing us. Okay, we are going to try and step away. Oh, before the other one grabbed us. Aiden breathes in and breathes out. As we step around the corner, we do see the other tendril. I do not know if we're in range of it. What we're going to do is we're going to pull out. It's not like we're actually... Damn! Okay, I pulled out my H&K, hoping that we could fire it in time. But in the middle of pulling it from our back, we got pulled in. Did we manage to wield it? No. We managed to pull it from our backpack and nothing else. It would take us 5 turns to pull it at this point. I think the biggest threat right now, I think I'm going to try and pull it out. Did anything manage to hit us while we pulled it out? We did our chief prepare for a fight and then wield our H&K MP5. The gangrenous crawler and the zombie both tried to grapple us. Our prototype mantle got dented in it, but we are still up. We are going to just fire our gun take down the brainless zombie right next to us? How are we missing this gangrenous impaler? It is literally right next to us. Okay, we'll wait just a few moments to get our recoil down. I think this is a bad idea. We're going to equip our Geon, and we're just going to drop the HMK. Oh, okay. As we were swinging at the dangerous crawler, just trying to reduce the amount of enemies near us so we don't get multi-grabbed, the tentacle grabs us and yeet us backwards, slamming us into the far wall. Aiden's breath is knocked free of him, and he just barely recovers back to his feet, standing and hiding behind the barrier for a moment. We need to take this thing down. Fortunately, that did give us time to take out the dangerous crawler. I think we're going to step to the side. Oh, I know what we're going to do. We activate our hydraulic muscles. We only have a handful of swings with this out, but as we swing into it for 20 damage, and then 60 damage, slicing into it with enormous Hulk-like strength, just dicing this thing to pieces. Oh, the strength's worn off, but we do take down the second one. I want to peek down. Holy shit. Okay, there is still a lot beneath us. Honestly, thank God for this piece of collapsed terrain. If not for it, we may have had to have dealt with all of that all at once. I do not know if that is the end of this. We're going to wait a moment. In fact, we're going to wait another minute, because one of the things that I want to check is we want to feel if the ground is still trembling. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. We do still have the nano search term so that we can try and search for nano recipes. Can we jump across? No, we're too burdened to jump across. There is a staircase there, though. If we could find a plank nearby, what we could do is actually we can go ahead and deconstruct this furniture because we have a moment. And the idea here is we're going to grab one plank and we will... Thought we could... I remember being able to put a plank across a pit before, and it's not seeming to let me do that right now. And I'm not sure why. We will also reload our HMK. It wasn't super effective against the crawlers, but it is a decent weapon in general. Perhaps the pit's simply too deep, as we try to place the plank across it, and it is not working. Yeah, there's a lot of zombies out here as well. After waiting actually a fairly good while, Aiden does not feel the ground tremble beneath him at all anymore. There's a possibility that, despite the ridiculous amount of creatures beneath us, that the trembling has stopped. We may have killed the heart of this place. Aiden revels in the idea that he has just murdered a tower. That is a wild concept. Killing a few more zombies, we do see the fresh light of day. It is very possible at this point for us to be able to just leave if we wanted to. But Aiden has come so far, dealt so much damage to this tower and its inhabitants, that he doesn't want to leave without what he came for. There's a chance in his mind that the recipe that we are here for potentially was in the nanofabricator room, because that's where we found the vast majority of our recipes so far, but that it just fell down. Also, there's this room full of lockers over here as well. Don't know if we checked this. Doesn't look like there's anything here. Also seems like there's not much in these upper levels as well. There is a ceiling above us, so I am curious if there's some way for us to get up as well. I was just about to say, we must have nether attunement because the range on our mind hammer has been increased dramatically, which is one of the byproducts. Your powers become much stronger as a byproduct of how dangerous your situation has become. We can infrequently here peek down to see what is beneath us. And I believe we might be able to make our way back to where we came up. And we now know that we have a safe way up and down. Looks like it's over there. I need to remember how we got over here in the first place. So it looks like we went around. We might be able to go back down at this point. We'll leave the stepladder here. And we know that there's some uncharted territory to the northwest where a lot of creatures were gathering in this room up here beneath the heart of the beast. So I do want to see if we can make it to that room. That is the room that we were having the most trouble getting to, though, which is now very unsurprising to Aiden. We do also want to check this area, but we don't see any nanofabricator recipes down here, which means it's very likely that we may not be able to complete this mission, to be completely honest. Taking down another zombie soldier. We did just get a new grenade. Grenades are a bit like candy for us. Always happy to see them. With our recent victory, Aiden feels a bit of a windfall. Feels much more confident in our ability to continue in this place, now that we know that we have defeated the heart of the location itself. We are moderately tired, though, so we do still need to be careful. Speaking of being careful, this based zombie here is grabbing us. Next to a Kevlar zombie. So, yeah. We want to get the shit out of here real quick. Cast wind running on ourselves to increase our speed. Because running away from zombies while in water is not the greatest. The Kevlar zombie seems like it was hurt, though, because with one simple force push, he hit a wall behind him and was taken down almost immediately. We really just want to get into this final room before giving up, though. As difficult as it seems like it's going to be. No, there's a threat. Zombie after zombie has been pouring out of the room, but now we see a headless horror. It can't see us. It can hear us. We don't have a wall to push it against. Could simply push it back into the room. But I think that is relatively risky. Oh, there's also a flesh raptor right here. I'm going to maybe pull it out instead. So we don't know what else is in that room, and if we push it back, then we have to fight it in there. We use wind running and mind hammer. There we go. Took more than an entire bar of stamina for Aiden, but we did manage to take it down. In the commotion, we do spot a couple Denarius as well. Taking down one Aiden believes to be the last of the flesh that was beneath the wall itself. We are checking this room as well, see if there are any recipes in it, and it does not seem so. There is a chance that what we're looking for got destroyed when the tower collapsed. If that is the case, it would be quite sad indeed, but it may be unavoidable. Looking down beneath us, we do see just piles and piles and piles of flesh of zombies that have been murdered down here by something. Aiden definitely doesn't want to go down into the subways. Something has been slaughtering the zombies down here, and it's not us. So it's something as scary as us down there. But we do feel like we are getting close to having cleared this tower. As we step up to this Kevlar zombie, we just realized that there must be a blank nearby or something as we lost access to our power. And Aiden is not confident without his psionics. He simply runs. We got far enough away from whatever it was that we gained access again and immediately used our power to shove it backwards and destroy it. If we were ever to be robbed of our power for a long period of time, it would likely be the end of us. There's another mass of flesh over here, and whatever is blocking our power is now nearby again. I suspect that it's on the surface, because we're not seeing it in this room down here. Ah, there he is. The zombie blank jumped down with us. Now with him gone, our powers should return relatively shortly here. Hopefully. And another zombie blank. Okay. So close to being able to clear this place out. Aiden's mind is now on the amount of recovery we're going to have to go through after this. Almost all of our gear is broken. Our tactical backpack is literally about to fall apart at the seams. And we've barely gotten anything to show for it, to be honest. We weren't even able to complete the mission that we were given. We suspect that this recipe, this nanofiber fabricator recipe, the one that we desire for the sake of our mission, is probably nowhere to be found. It's likely gone at this point. Destroyed by the collapse of the tower itself. Aiden's nether attunement is now up to 5. We take a moment and we meditate. And during meditation, we did not feel or hear a single tremble to the ground. Aiden has killed the collapsed tower. However, without managing to get the recipe we need, it's still on some degree a loss. There are some denarius beneath us, but again, we fear going down that way. I think Aiden is going to take this as a form of victory, even if it's not a full victory, and we're going to leave. I think, though, these nanofiber canisters do seem to be interesting enough and rare enough that we will take them with us. Go ahead and insert one of them into our lifting fields. It looks like they were able to combine into one block of 100, which is really useful, and it means that we could take both of them with us simultaneously. As much as we would like to just search this entire place, Aiden has been here for more than a full night. It is now far beyond dawn, and he just wants to get home. He just wants to get out of here. He is covered in gore and disgusting butchery refuse. It is long since time for us to retreat. If we see any of the gangrenous impalers on the way out, we're going to get rid of them. We do not want them to continue to spawn things that will cause us problems in the future. I believe we're going to come up to this other roof over here, and we're going to take a moment to rest, regain some confidence in our abilities, and move out. We are curious. Our Mind Hammer was level 7 going in. It's now level 10, and Force Shove is approaching its maximum as well, both of which got a lot of use in there. On top of Wind Running, which is also approaching its maximum of 10, sitting at level 7. Even if we did not get much in the way of loot, well, I should say, not even much is the right answer. We got nearly nothing in the way of loot. We were at least able to get some training done. And yeah, this place is still filled with zombies all around. So I think we want to just kind of get out of here. I would like to take one of these down, though, these braziers, and take it with us. We put a brazier in our car, then it would allow us to cook. We could take it out and we could cook out on the wild. To go ahead and cut through a building in order to cut off the number of zombies following us. Cast Wind Running on ourselves to go even faster, but because once we get into the sewers, we're basically home free. As long as something hasn't climbed into the sewers since we've been down here. Home free. Now that we're here, we're relatively safe. But good timing too, because the Nether Attunement has finally caused Aiden to start spasming and vomiting. He has much too much of this going on. His brain is starting to feels like it's almost melting behind his ears. We passed the corpse of the Frog Mother, now knowing how powerful it truly is. It is tempting to take that with us as a trophy, but it would probably rot away anyways, so we are not going to bother with that. And it looks like there are a few zombies that have managed to find their way over here through the night and day. So we're going to just honestly kind of run from them, bolster ourselves with wind running again, and literally or metaphorically take flights and just sort of get out of here. Yeah, it looks like it's become quite a mess over here. There is quite a lot going on, and as much as we would like to take apart this military cargo van, that might have to be a thing for later. We have marked it for the future, so we know how to get back to it. If we get back to the ants and the zombies are going to go to war with each other, which means that we shouldn't be in too much of a trouble once we get there. We're back to the anthill. Aiden feels at least relatively safe again. We may not be home, but we're at least back at the vehicle. Putting away our Geon. We're going to take stock. Our prototype mantle is nearly destroyed. Our backpack is holding on by threads. And a lot of the rest of our armor has taken a significant beating, on top of the fact that the Geon itself is so damaged that it's probably losing a large amount of effectiveness at this point. We do have all of the nanofabricator templates with us, and the nanomaterial canisters with us, but I don't know how effective these are to even keep at this point. On the off chance that we run into something dangerous on the way home, I think it is likely a good idea for Aiden to try and get some rest. We could stay at the car, but there's also a cabin to the north. So I think what Aiden's going to do is head to the north real quick, clear out this cabin, and see if we can find a bed. The nudge is preventing us from eating. Of course it is. Seems like this place is fine. There's no water in the standing tank, unfortunately. We'll make a once around, make sure there's no residents. Also not much of a cabin. Go ahead and pry open the front door. And yeah, it looks like we also can't lock the windows. To be honest, this place is probably not as safe as our car. We did just have an idea though. I think we're going to deconstruct this thing right here, and we could probably take this mattress with us, store it in our lifting field, and install it in the car. So we actually could get something in the car itself. Is there a place we would want to do that? Ideally in this recharging station right here. I don't know if it'll let us do that though. We'll check. Bed. An installed seat already occupies the center. So if we remove the seat belt and the seats, we could do that. So we have to remove the seat belt first. We also have to remove the charging station. Okay. Let's step off of it real quick. The charging station's not super important to me. So if we do break it by accident, that's not the biggest deal in the world. Did we break it? We did not break it. Yes. Good job, Aiden. Thank you for not being crap at this. We'll go ahead and uninstall the seats and disassemble it. This also gives us time to heal and rest a little bit in between doing all of this. And anytime we disassemble something valuable like this, we're going to go ahead and load its ingredients into the vehicle so that they can be useful in the future. And then let's see, can we put the bed in here? The bed does have weight and capacity. And since it has capacity, it means that we should be able to install the charging station back. Yeah, recharging station, there we go. And now we have both a bed and a charging station. So if we go prone here, nothing should be able to see us. And Aiden can take a short nap. Make sure we turn everything off first. And yeah, there we go. I think we're going to leave our hearing on. Hopefully we should be able to sleep through anything like a dinosaur walking around. We're not going to take a long nap. We're just going to sleep for a little bit. Yeah, it does seem like the walking of that dinosaur nearby is causing us problems. So as much as I hate to do it, we are going to turn our sound dampeners on and we try and sleep again. Aiden managed to get a couple hours of sleep. It did not reduce our nether attunement at all, but we're at least a little bit less tired. And we should be able to find some water nearby and then head back out on our journey again. One thing I would actually like to do before we completely head out, because we're already here and we have all the resources we need while we're here in order to rest and such if we need to. And there's not really much at home that we need to do, especially because, well, we kind of failed in our mission. Aiden is going to take some of these frames, because they're fully repaired in the back here, and take them off to add them to our coop, possibly even replacing some of our frames, and see if we can expand the size of our coop here. It does seem like in order to pick up the car to remove the wheels, we would need strength 79, which we do not have. Or we need to get a jack, which we do have a jack back home. But we did manage to get a couple, looks like, yeah, actually 3 steel frames off of this. So we should be able to, if I understand this process enough, we should be able to add some frames to the back of this car, essentially extending it. We have managed to move it out 1. If we want to move it out 1 more, I would say that we'd probably need to get some tires under these 2 spots right here. And I would also like to get some quarter panels under here as well and change the design a little bit so that it looks a little bit less silly. Possibly even some higher quality quarter panels as well. We also need to repair one of these frames. I don't know if we can. We don't have enough chunks of steel nearby. I mean, we have this vehicle, obviously, that we can use to get chunks of steel from. But we are tired and dehydrated, so we're going to take that as enough for now, and we'll back up to our previous parking spot. Because I don't want to drive at night, we are going to go back to sleep, see if we can make it till daytime. Aiden wakes in the middle of summer on a nice day, having left the city with the horrifying tower behind. An enormous city, by the way. If we ever wanted something, or were want for anything, we could probably come back to Savoy here. It seems like it's nearly as large, if not larger, than our hometown. Both successful and a failure at the same time. Aiden is going to head home. Aiden did decide to stop at the Hubba 1, offload anything that we did manage to pick up that we can sell, and inform them of our failed mission. As we speak to the intercom, we do say that we did not find what they were looking for per se, but we did find a UHMWPE nanofabricator templates. Perhaps this instead is something that they want. We hand it over. They do respond with, "Thank you. This might be of some benefit to us, but we will need at least a day to read the contents of the template. Please speak with us again when we've had time." Very well. Oh, we can discuss prototypes with them now. Interesting. So there's a possibility that in the future, they seem to be informing Aiden that we could in fact give them these nanofabricator schematics, and they could make things for us since we couldn't find a fabricator ourselves. And if we speak to them about their contacts, we actually give them other templates as well. So we can hand over the silicon photonics. They say, "Fantastic." The intercom's tray slides shut and then opens shortly afterwards with a payment. "You have thanks and our payment." Oh, that is what they wanted. Interesting. Okay. Aiden just says with an exasperation, almost a calm in his voice, not angry, not annoyed, just exhausted. "Do you have any idea what I just went through?" They return clipped and short, as we have discussed. "During acceptance of the contract, we were well aware of the hazardous grounds conditions, but we were unable to deduce further information than what was available through long-range sensing. If you will provide a description of the hazards present, we are willing to document them." Aiden slowly and heartlessly details the conditions at the collapsed tower and its basement. He does not mind so much that it was a challenge or a danger. In fact, he was still excited about fighting it all the way to the very end. He's just exhausted, and he needs a few days off. Over the course of several minutes, Aiden explains what happened at the ruins, the zombie presence, and gigantic tendrils on the surface, the biological infestation completely taking over the basement, as well as the hostile threats encountered therein. The voice periodically interjects with questions or statements. The whole time, you hear the sounds of typing on a keyboard. Again, their response is clipped and short. "We would like to extend our thanks for your detailed report. It is clear to us that the threat level present at the manufacturer was far higher than we originally anticipated, and your performance in this situation was exemplary. Should you desire further contract work, we will bear these facts in mind, ensure that the threat prognosis of your future assignments are adequately assessed." Aiden sighs at this, and is both thankful and worried that, considering he succeeded, he's worried that they might send him after harder things in the future. But he does respond with, "It's fine. At least now we know for the future. Do you have any new contracts for us?" They don't. We are going to check their shop real quick to see if there's anything new. It looks like there isn't. We're still waiting for a prototype mantle, something to replace the prototype mantle, that is. But we'll go ahead and sell everything to them that we either want to get out of our inventory or that we do not need anymore. Oh, interesting. Chunks of fat actually sell very relatively well to them. It seems like they probably don't have access to a lot of food. We actually could probably sell them food really well. Yeah, dehydrated meat as well. We have plenty of that back home, so I think we're just going to go ahead and offload it for now. We were able to get one extra Hubba 1 coin, and I think they gave us some Hubba 1 coins as a reward? No, they didn't. How unimpressive. Aiden knows that it's going to be 24 hours before they're willing to talk to us again. So we're going to chat with Cranberry on the way out and then head back home. Cranberry does mention that apparently there's working Wi-Fi here. Not like it matters. The world's destroyed. But it is kind of interesting. Oh, actually, we were about to drive off, but we should actually check the bar over here. It's been a few days since we've been here, and they did say that the regulars seemed to come and go. So there's a chance that there's someone else here. I mean, we did get a fabricator recipe from one of these guys. We come up to a pill pusher. Visitor seems to be more watchful than normal. You notice zip bags peeking out from his overcoat. They're clearly pushing something. It doesn't take much longer for them to notice you in kind. You want something? We're just gawking. Aiden shakes his hand. Sorry, not interested. Doesn't seem like there's anyone else here. At least not today. And considering we still don't know how to get a piece of railroad track off the railroad beneath, we'll have to leave this place for now. As Aiden drives on, he is reminded of Carrie Tran, who asked him to kill Carrie's mother. And there's a good chance that if we do that job, we could potentially get that man to join us on our island. Perhaps even get him to do some basic chores for us. So once we're done with our vacation, take a few days off here, that might be something worth investigating. Plus, it would take us back to the city, and we know we need a bunch of materials at this point. With great effort and activating our hydraulic muscles, Aiden does actually manage to get the backup generator off of the car, and we're going to see if we can haul it into the boat here so that we can bring it back to our island. It may be a little bit too big. Nope, we were able to just barely get it on. Yes. Ideally, we were going to add these flotation metal boat frames to the sides of our car in order to make it a amphibious car, but he is tired. That'll be for another day. Home, sweet home. Oh, how we've missed it. Go ahead and offload the backup generator here. As Aiden was unloading it, did we just drop it into the water? I hope not. Hold on. Perhaps we just... there we go. Dock. Ooh, okay. We just failed to unload it. I was very worried for a second there that we had dropped it into the water, because if we did, we were going to be having a scuba diving experience, for sure. Okay, we'll go ahead and stop hauling this here. And let's see... We'll place the backup... okay. Well, we have to move it once, because we can't place it where it already is. We'll go ahead and place the backup generator here. And we can't fill the tank right now because we don't have any gasoline on us, but we should be able to soon. I think we also, since we are taking a moment anyways, I think we also want to organize the power grid a little bit here. It's actually been bothering us for a moment how bad this looks. It'll be a lot nicer to put everything in a better place. We could potentially put a roof over all of this as well. Keeping these batteries out in the wild like this is probably not the best. The extra solar panels are also helping though, because now we only have 2 days until full. And if we ever need them, we can get more solar panels from the car. We also have some fertilizer. We can go ahead and do that. I think today is going to be a day where we spend some time working on the base so that Aiden can get some time off from fighting every single monster in the world. Hopefully fertilizing all of these is the right thing to do. Again, Aiden's not exactly a farmer. This is the first time he's even done this, and he would normally look this up on YouTube, because, you know, that's what YouTube's for, right? Is for figuring out stuff like this. But that's not exactly an option anymore. He also wonders if there's a chance that we could, like, figure out how to get this Aptosaurus into this pen up north that we've made. Like, maybe we could tie a rope to it. We do have a rope right here, right? It doesn't seem to be the case. Can we make a lead? It doesn't seem like we have the ability or even maybe recipes to make a lead. It says that we're not connected anymore. Is that why? Whenever we took out our battery here, we somehow killed our power grid. Okay. Fortunately, that wasn't gone for long, but for some reason our refrigerator turned off as well. That's really unfortunate. I'm not sure what would have caused that. It shouldn't have run out of power while we were gone, but due to that, a lot of things seem to have rotted. Either that or Aiden has just been gone for a little bit too long here. We are going to take the rod out back and just kind of place it down somewhere. I think one of the downtime activities we're going to do is repair all of our shits, because it all needs repairing at this point. We will need our jumper cables for that, I think, which I don't think we kept any on us. Yeah, I'm hoping that whenever we go back, we can turn them into the Hubba 1, and perhaps they will offer us the ability to make things with the nanofabricator. But for the time being, yeah, we're just going to try and repair what we can here. We seem to be missing our tailor's kits. Hopefully that didn't end up in our car, because we desperately need to repair our backpack, although Aiden did manage to get everything else repaired. So we also have a scissor jack right here. So what we're going to do is, hopefully the scissor jack has enough. I think it needed like 4 jacking quality. Okay. So we're going to take that and a couple other small things back to the car and check to make sure that we have a few have things that we need from it as well. Having to make trips back and forth from the car is making us realize very quickly that combining these two things would be of extreme value to us, especially living on an island as we do and living so close to such a large lake. It would be putting all of our eggs in one basket, but it really might just be worth it to do so. I think what we're going to do is we're going to pick everything here, make sure that none of this is something that can be damaging to our vehicle, and we're going to make a quick examination of the boat, make sure that we understand how it works, and then see about combining them both. Okay, so it looks like we have vehicle tanks, which the car also has, and then we have boat hulls in each of the spots. I'm curious if the boat hull will override anything, like if we just have to add that on the outside. We also have, let's see, a engine, which we have one of those on the car as well, so that should be fine. And this thing weighs 1,200 pounds and floats. How much does our other car weigh? 3,200 pounds. So I'm curious how many of these we have to add before it starts to float again. We do need to turn our vehicle around and back it up to this, because most of our tools and supplies for working on cars are in the back seats. But if we could make an amphibious vehicle, that would just be very, very cool. And again, we're told that this works, but I have not tested it myself. We'll have to find out. I think for now, what we're going to do is we're going to remove one metal boat hull and install it onto one of our back frames here, because you can walk on these, and see how this works. Okay, metal boat hull. So now it says that we have wheels/boats. We have enough wheels, but it will sink. Do we have a wheel that we can install here? We do have a wheel that we can install here, but we don't have a wheel assembly. That's why. Okay. So we would need some sort of wheel assembly first. What wheel assemblies do we have in the other spots? We have wheel hub assembly. So let's see if we have the ability to add that. We would need a medium wheel hub assembly. I assume that is something we could craft. No, we probably have to just find one. So the next question is, how many boat hulls do we need before this thing floats? The thing that I'm worried about is whether we will get to that point before we tear apart our previous ship. We do have some sheet metal in the trunk, so it looks like we can make it out of those. Here's another question. Can we install these on existing places? It looks like it is... Yeah, it is possible. We've just run out of charges in our acetylene torch, so we need more propane. Do we have more propane? What we could do is we could set up a small power grid using the backup generator and get the acetylene, or sorry, the arc welder out here in order to finish this job, because it's definitely not enough now. It's still at sinks. And I assume that we need some wiggle room there as well, because the cargo volume is likely going to be adding to the weight as well. It does look like we actually have a second propane tank here. So we should be able to take that out. And take out the propane torch. And then refill the propane torch with the propane tank, right? Yeah, there we go. Now the propane tank torch is refilled. We can put away the other propane tank. Perhaps we can refill that in the future. Let's see about adding a boat hole on the inside. Oh, it worked. So we can add boat hulls to the bottom side of this. I assume we probably can't add it underneath wheels. Yes, after some playing around, it looks like the only places we can't install the boat hull underneath is where the wheels are. And it's also currently creating a lot of water drag, which is reducing its ability to accelerate in water. I do also notice that its ground acceleration just got reduced to 0. And I'm curious if it's too heavy to move on the ground now. No, it's not. Okay, now that we've moved it a little bit, those numbers changed for some reason. I think they probably just got updated. Yeah. It still says it sinks, though. So we would need more. The major thing that we actually need, though, is steel frames in order to make these. It just requires 1 sheet metal, not even a steel frame. So we don't necessarily have to pull apart this boat. Again, for fear that we end up breaking the boat down and don't have enough in order to get our car to float. So I think instead what we'll do is we will go find another car nearby, somewhere safe, that we can take apart. And I think that there was one around here somewhere. I thought it was near the chitin. Did we completely deconstruct the car that was near the chitin? I didn't think that we had. Oh, these drones are getting to be a problem. They're really close to where we live. We may need to take those out at some point. Just make the area around where we live a lot safer in general. There are some destroyed cars over here. I sort of doubt that we can get good materials out of them, though. They are pretty wrecked, and sheet metal has durability. But the one thing I want to check is the steel rams. Ah, damn, the rams are completely destroyed. If I could take those off and use them, that would have been actually very cool. Yeah, everything here is very, very destroyed. I think we're actually going to head towards the city here, wipe out some of the zombies that are in the way, and see about finding another car that we can use to improve this car. Now that we know what we're doing, we could probably be a nice break for Aiden to spend a day just working on mechanics, achieving something, improving our vehicle, because it is quickly becoming a second home for us. Ooh, there we go. There we go. Military cargo truck. And a trencher. Okay. So let's clear this place out. And this is... Excuse me, no. Please don't hit my car. What a jerk. He only did a little bit of damage to the outer panels, though. But we could potentially rip all of the stuff off of that. There's also a folding table here. Interesting. And a flamethrower. Well, we know what we're going to be doing. Lifting field, flamethrower. Maybe we keep this one. A flamethrower would have been insanely useful back at the actual... Flamethrower would have been insanely useful in the underside of the tower. Okay, we need to make a once around this area. Make sure that everything here is dead. What are those? Oh, body bags. There's just napalm on the ground. That's great. Does not seem like there's much here. So we should be able to work here. Let's go ahead and back our vehicle up to the armored personnel carrier. What is this at the front? Composite armor frame. Armor plating. Oh man, if we could get that on the front of our vehicle, I want to see if we can take it off. Yeah, military composite plating. Okay. So if we also get rid of the heavy duty frame. Oh man. Okay, what we're going to do is... Which side is the front? Front's up here. I think we're going to install this heavy duty frame here. And then install this heavy armor on the front of our car. Because that sounds amazing. already we're turning this into something very, very unique. I want to see what it looks like before we go too much farther here. Oh, that's the thing that we're running into, is that we could potentially use this military composites in order to the composite plating that we're getting off of this in order to add to our vehicle. But not only are we not skilled enough in mechanics, we're also running out of propane again. The RAM looks like it actually has the most durability, so we probably want to use the RAM instead of using a frame at all. So we can also honestly probably remove this frame, this heavy duty frame. And after we make a little bit of a pile of stuff here, we can just load it into our car, right? And take a lot of this with us. We're not going to remove anything that's heavily damaged unless we have to. Wait, it says that we need a tool of lifting 1. Don't we have one? Did it break? Okay, I think we officially ran into a bug. This heavy duty frame right here, if we try and remove it, despite the fact that we've removed several frames before, says that we need a tool of lifting 1 or strength 10. And we go into our inventory. Our scissor jack here has a... Oh, this is jacking, not lifting. Oh, do you know what's happened? I see. We're thirsty, tired, and hungry. So it's actually lowered our strength to the point where we can't continue working. Oh, I see what's happened. Okay. So we'll be fine. We just need to maybe take a little bit of a rest from this. I guess I'm not surprised. This is actually pretty hard work, I imagine. Can we disassemble the military composite plating? It doesn't seem like it. We can go ahead and move it away, though, because we won't need it. Just an engine on the ground here? Interesting. 4-cylinder combustion engine. Larger car battery here. V8 diesel engine. Heavy-duty quarter panels. I want to remove one of these quarter panels, this heavy-duty ones, and see if we can install those on our vehicle as well. Instead of turning on our flashlight, which is what we would normally do once nighttime comes, we're already tired. I think we're just going to take a break and come back at this in the morning. Upgrading our vehicle using this military van, though, is going to be very interesting. Whenever we woke up fresh and relaxed, we did just realize something that we may have overlooked. Let's actually check to see how functional this vehicle is in the first place, because we've replaced the battery. I mean, the engine is working, the battery is working. So if we were to charge the battery, we might simply be able to use this vehicle instead of, like, we could upgrade this military cargo truck and deconstruct our coupe instead, because this is going to be a lot of work, and this is probably a much better vehicle. Oh, it even has working controls and 2 working vehicle tanks. It also takes diesel, so we could siphon diesel from one directly into the other. It does look like we can put the heavy-duty quarter panel back on as well. Now I'm a little sad that we took off some of these composite heavy-duty frames up front, considering we're now likely to actually use this. So what would we want to do here? The battery is fine. So if we even took off one solar cell here and install it, where do we want to install it? We could probably install it over top of the seats. Or maybe installed in the back, actually. I will say the only problem here is that we were trying to upgrade our vehicle into a boat. It's going to be much harder to do that now, because this thing is going to take a lot more to float than the coupe would have. But it is a heavily armored vehicle. I feel a lot less scared driving into a town with this thing than I do with the coupe. The coupe... Sorry, I keep saying coupe instead of coupe. The coupe would probably just have fallen apart on first blush of entering a town. Literally just fallen apart. You can go ahead and remove the damaged seats and seat belts, so we no longer need them. We can remove the bed from this one and the recharging station. Looks like the battery is already up to 3%. Can we siphon fuel tank and fill the vehicle military truck instead? Yep, we now have 40% diesel, 5% battery. Okay, what I think we're going to do is we are going to move everything out of the way. Make sure we move absolutely everything, to be honest. out of the way. And let's see if this thing starts. Fails to start. Why is the engine failing to start? Does it need more battery, perhaps? That's also 14,000 pounds. We may not be able to convert this one into also a boat. That might be a lot more than we can do. Oh, here we go. It says that our V8 diesel engine is faulty. Okay, what kind of engine is on this one? It's a V6 diesel engine. Can we remove that? Strength 20. Yes. So what we have to do is turn on our hydraulic muscles. Actually, that's a good question. Before doing that, we should check to make sure that we can remove the V8 diesel engine over here. Once I find it again. It does look like we can remove it, yes. So we'll go ahead and remove the truck alternator. We'll be putting that back on, though. Activate our hydraulic strength so that Aiden is able to lift an engine with his bare hands. And then uninstall the other one as well. Oh, we've run out of power, I think. Yeah. And the V6 is not going to be as much power, but it should still be enough to run the thing, I think. I do believe, at least. We'll install an engine. I mean, we could also install a normal engine instead of the V6. I don't know what the difference is. It seems like they have the same amount of power, but one would use diesel and one would use gasoline. This is something we'll have to keep in mind in the future. We currently have diesel, so we'll go ahead and go with the diesel. And then we'll reinstall the truck alternator as well. Because of all that, we are now very thirsty and very weary. But I want to see if we can haul everything out of the way. And if the car will start now. Engine starts up. Does it move? It does. Oh, that is so nice. Okay. We'll stop driving for now. And I believe if we head up to this forest here, we should be able to find a little bit of water. Generally, the forests are filled with water. And drink a bit so that we don't die of thirst. It's a good idea that we stopped when we did, because we are now at extreme weariness. Or at least at the very edge of extreme weariness. Oh man, as we're looking at this cargo truck again, we just have space after space of cargo space as well. Oh, that is so nice. And the wheels, there's a 2x2 32-inch wheel on either side with 2 more at the front. This thing is a beast. We can probably fill the back part of it, since it's a truck. We can probably fill the back part of it with entirely solar panels as well. What I believe would be a prudent thing to do would be to sleep, though. Since I don't really trust that this vehicle here is safe yet, because we're so close to town, we will head back to the Zodi, get some rest, and we will finish up the job, making our new vehicle as powerful as we can manage. Plus, it's a good idea to always check in with Rubik. I'm sure they don't mind us sleeping here. Maybe we can find some beds in the upstairs. You know, I was just saying that we could keep this flamethrower, but this one's worth 151, and it runs out of napalm really fast. This would be a really great item for trade. It really, really would be. Since we're already friends with Rubik, I don't imagine he would mind us looking around. And honestly, this is one of the first times we even have looked around the Zodi facility. Perhaps there's going to be something nearby where we can, like a bed we can borrow or something like that. Worst case scenario, we could probably sleep on this cafeteria area here. Oh yeah, there are some beds here. Okay. I'm sure they won't mind, considering that the Zodi machines outside are constantly firing at things. We'll turn on our sound dampeners and just get a little bit of a nap. Unfortunately, it looks like it's too bright to sleep. The Zodi building here is just filled with light from corner to corner. The Zodi must have a way around this, because every single one of their rooms is filled with ultra bright lights that make it almost impossible for Aiden to sleep. Some generators in the basement. Nothing he really wants to mess with. Oh, wow. We found their cybernetics area. There's a lot of electronics and technological things down here. We doubt, however, that they would be willing to share. If one was to make an enemy of the Zodi, though, you could probably make out like a bandit. You'd probably have everything you ever need if you were to manage to actually take one of these facilities. But considering how many turrets they have and robots they have, good luck actually doing that. Yeah. It looks like all of their bedrooms are filled with light. We're not going to get any rest here. As much as Aiden does not want to sleep in a waste disposal place, we are not given much choice. After all, we're just looking for a nap. But yeah, it's the only place we could find even just a chair to get some rest in. Okay, back to work. I think the biggest thing is going to be that we need off this coop, because we have very little need for the quarter panels or the doors or anything like that. Biggest thing is going to be, we don't even need the trunks. We need the solar panels, and then we just need to offload it. So we'll go ahead and remove all of the solar panels from this, and then install them onto our new vehicle. Okay. With those solar panels installed, we'll probably eventually want to make a door here as well, and then add some more frames onto the back so that this back area is more secure, because right now it's just kind of a truck, right? But with that, I think we should be able to move the car forward a tiny bit and offload everything from the coupe and load it onto the vehicle. I'm excited. It looks like we have everything out of it. We'll need to sort our new military truck sometime soon here, but we can move it forward one more step and load the stuff here that we need, that we care about. We'll take the frames, the military composite, and all of the parts. With that, I think we have everything that we can get from this vehicle right away. We may want to come back at some point and basically uninstall everything that ends up becoming something steel, so that we could potentially, you know, install some boat parts here. I am curious if anyone knows if any of these boat frames are better than the others. I imagine it's probably just based off of the actual weight of the frame itself, not adding to the weight of the eventual boat. So like carbon fiber boat hulls will probably be the best because they weigh the least. But at 16,000 pounds of mass, I strongly don't think that we'll be able to get this thing to float anymore. I mean, it's possible. It's not impossible, right? But at the same time, we now have an armored vehicle I'm not afraid of taking into a city, even. We do still need a back part here to make sure that something doesn't just crawl onto our vehicle as we're moving. But with how heavy duty these frames are, and they still only take chunks of steel to repair, we're doing very well for ourselves. Very, very well for ourselves. We may want to add another battery to this at some point. In fact, we actually could probably take the battery from this one, now that I think about it, and add it to this one. So that has a higher maximum battery. And with that, we might be able to use the car battery and a arc welder in order to do repairs. I'm not sure if that's a thing that you can do, though. We'll have to find that out. Aiden's always wanted a bit of a tank, and although this is not necessarily, per se, a tank, it is one step closer to what we had before. Driving our new vehicle home, Aiden feels safe and secure in his armored car. Happy now with the day's work. Sure, we did actually succeed in the tower. We were happy to find that in the end, we had just misunderstood what they wanted from us, and that we have gotten our reward anyways. At this point, we are going to head back to Hub 01, rest in our new car, at least for the day. And tomorrow will be a new day and a new journey. We are likely to head back into the city. Heck, we can even try driving our car into the city, at least to some degree. And we are going to hunt down the mother of this friend. Perhaps we'll be making a new friend with this as well. But for now, we're going to have to end here. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. If you have, please feel free to leave likes on the videos. It helps tremendously. And if you have any suggestions, leave a comment below. I hope to see you next time, so please subscribe for more Cataclysm and hard video game content. Goodbye.